Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
I'm Tracey.
I'm Carol.
And we are my
Outlander
Purgatory. You're just never going to do I just never know. Here's you.
Okay. I would think that you would have gotten this by now.
My.
You say my, I say Outlander, you say Purgatory.
Right. I know, but here's...
And then in my head, I always hear .com.
Yes, but I go my, and you go like this. You go like, look at me like I'm stupid. And I'm like, what? Did I do it wrong? Anyway, like, I don't even know why we're wasting everyone's time because, oh my God, as Janice from Friends was wont to say, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Episode 8, Outlander. We've looked at love from both sides now. And I don't remember the words to it. Anyway, all right, well, introduce our drinks first. Oh, we'll get there. We will get there. Introduce our drinks first. In honor of the appearance, because I was kind of waiting for it, the appearance of a badass Jamie, am drinking the Hellraiser craft beer. The Hellraiser IPA.
And I am right back to the Oban from last week.
Nice. It's better than that. It's better than that, like, you know, pink crap that you found between the cushions on your sofa that you're drinking.
Oh, you know, that was that mango stuff. And
that was just like
raspberry.
Wretched.
And thank you, my niece Caitlin.
All right.
My girlfriend took a little trip and came home with some of this.
So we have watched the mid-season finale of Outlander, as we said, episode 8, Both Sides Now, written by Ronald D. Moore and directed by Anna Forrester, maybe? Something like that. So whoever directed last week's is the same director. Carol, thoughts?
At one point, I watched with Tom, the hubster, who I have to remind everyone has read through Voyager. I'm working on drums.
I'm working on page 26 of Outlander with my man, but go on.
You know what? Because he has to get to last night, baby. Here's the deal. First of all, I'm going to interrupt myself and say, I'm not kidding. The series is following the books to a T, because you even are to this point where, as I always tell everybody, once you hit a certain point, meaning like the wedding, bam, the thing takes off like a roller coaster, and we are going.
On the way.
We
are locked and loaded.
And what I was going to say was, Tom and I were watching last night, and at one point he had to say to me, Carol, knock it off. Because I was like this. I was a mess. An absolute mess. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
It was so good. All I have to say is the cop or the Bobby or whoever, whatever. I guess, what would they call them in Scotland? Not the Bobbies. I don't know. I don't remember. Whoever the policeman is said it best when he said, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
I heard that, and I was like, is that Outlander or
pretty
Mom?
Much foreshadowing for the whole episode. I agree. I mean, this was just everything you want. I have to say, you know, I'm still kind of processing last week and the wedding. And I've said to Carol, I kind of almost want to do another video because I've thought of some other things that I wish had been there. I thought of more things I like. I thought of some more things that I, you know, kind of like better about the book or about the TV show, whatever. I have enough material for another video, so maybe we'll do one sometime. But anyway.
Yeah, maybe we will. We have 7 months to wait until the next one. What the hell happened?
Yeah, so we found out that the next season, or the second part, season 1B, I guess, of Outlander begins on April 4th, 2015. Could be worse. Could be 2016.
You know what? I get it. Tom was in the car tonight on the way home from back to school night. I have an Outlander video. I have to go.
Didn't you see that? Didn't you have back to school night last night or
That
last week?
That was kindergarten through. That was the first. There's 2 back to school nights.
Oh.
Anyway, I don't even remember what I was just gonna say. Oh, Tom was like, "What is going on?" You know, we both get really angry because we do watch a lot of the different series that are out, and we both get really angry when that happens because we're like, what the hell? And I get it. It's a lot of different factors. You know, it could be filming because it's so outlandish, some of the stuff that they have to do and where they have to go and the locations and blah, blah, blah. I get that. I get that the different networks have scheduling conflicts. I get that they might be premiering a new show or they have another one coming. I get all of it. I get it. But it still doesn't make it any easier to swallow. How the frig do you expect us to wait 7 more months for part 2? I would get it if it was the end of the season. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd be able to swallow it. But this, half the season, and then we have to wait 7 months for the second half of the season? What the hell?
You watched like Breaking Bad before. I binge watched the whole thing of Breaking Bad, but you watched it when it was actually on. What was the downtime between season parts there?
Oh God,
it was a year.
I hate to tell you, but we plowed through most of Breaking Bad on video. We only watched the last season live.
Doesn't other shows that you watch like Walking Dead or like what the hell Sons of Anarchy? None of those work that way.
Season to season, you expect 7 months. Half season to half season, no.
I will say this too. I mean, it's a long time. I'm not as upset over it as a lot of people are. Partly because, I have so many other TV shows that I have I've yet to watch. Partly because the time will go really fast. Partly because I really like to read the book again. Let me ask you this. Doesn't it feel like it was just yesterday that Sam Heughan was announced as Jamie Fraser? That was like almost 18 months ago. So, see what I mean? Like, when you're old like us, time goes by like this. I mean, it's going to be like, oh, guess what? It's April 4th. So I guess I'm not that like, oh my God, I mean, when I finished watching this episode, I kind of was. Because, oh my God. But overall, and I mean, I get it. I think people don't want to pay for stars, if it's not on. But, it kind of makes sense. Oh, I do remember what I was going to say. It makes sense. They're going to do Black Sails next.
Oh, I can't wait. See, let me throw this in, because I'm not trying to diss stars in all of this. Can't wait for Black Sails.
But by the time Black Sails is over, then it's going to be time for Outlander. Here's my question, and I do remember what I was going to say. What?
7 months?
I know, whatever. But what does this mean? Does this mean that... there were 2 things. First of all, it's almost like we have 2 full seasons here, okay? 8 episodes per half season is almost the size of a full season of Game of Thrones. So I'm looking at it from the glass half full, okay? Half full, people, not half empty. It's
Tracey.
like we're getting... let me finish. All right, I'll make the point. Did you hear the point about 8 episodes per season, per half season, is almost like a full season of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Okay. Did you hear the point about not really knowing whether this means that we'll get season 2 in September of 2015, or if we're not going to get season 2 till April of 2016? Now that may piss me off a little bit, if that's the case.
Here's my point.
What?
If we weren't pissed off, that wouldn't be good. We love the show. It's such compliments to the chef. It says so much about the show that we're upset that we won't have it again until April. I have gotten to this point with this show, and let me tell you something, last night's episode did it. I am viewing this show like a new like somebody completely new who's never seen it before and
it is new.
Doesn't know the story. And I'll tell you what, I sat there, listened to them. I'm going to go back to, I believe, about a year ago in October when we were in New York and Ron spoke. And they did say, you know, he said about Terry and his wife and how she loves it and he can't mess with it. She'd kill him. But he did say there would be a few things here and there that would be added on, storylines. And I have to admit, I was a little like, I don't know if I'm going to like that. I love it. Every time there's something new, I love it. Every time, you know, we got so much of Frank's point of view this last night. And I'm so curious as to, my big question is, did any of this come from Dinah Gabaldon? Like when she sat down with Ron Moore at her house, like that first weekend when he came to visit her the first time, like, did she ever say, well, here's what I thought Frank was doing? Well, or was this all Ron Moore? Or was this all different writers? I'm so fascinated by how, here we go again, where you say you're the acting side of it and I'm the writing side of it. How did they come up with this? It's brilliant. And every little thing that they show that we've never seen, I can't get enough of.
I know.
It's spectacular.
Right. Let's go through the episode. I did take notes, so I've watched it twice so far. But you have it up on your thingy, so okay. So
Frank just heard Jesus, Mary. Well, I don't think Frank heard the Jesus, Mary, and Joseph.
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Okay, so but wait, the title card.
Irish.
What?
He's
I know. I can't really do. I'm starting to be able to do a little bit of a Scottish accent just because of hearing this like, oh, Claire, like I don't know. I like doing accents.
I always do my Mike Myers. If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's crap.
What?
It's crap.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
All right. Okay. This is going to be like 2 hours long. We don't.
I know.
Focus. Okay. The title, the opening credit title card, whatever they call it, the two maps, very cool. Now or then, now, very cool juxtaposition of the past and the present. I thought both maps of the same place. Very cool. So after we see that, we see they're in the police station, and it is official, people. We are out of Claire's point of view solely in this show. There you go. Bye-bye. See ya. We are now officially seeing Frank. She's not flashing back.
Loved it.
Loved every single solitary second of the Frank stuff. Loved it.
That's what I could reread.
Yes. Because, you know, I think I wrote this down somewhere. Everybody's always like, everybody hates on Frank. I don't hate Frank. I've never hated Frank.
I was
ever. This, to me, was vindication for every single second that I've ever said, like, Frank is not a bad guy. He's just had a really sucky hand dealt to him.
He's just drawn that way.
He's just drawn that way. It's not bad. It's just drawn that way. Now, from the very beginning, the music in that police station, so sad. And they're like, he's here again. And you just see the back. You just see this guy's the back with the hat and the posture all like really straight, but you just see his back, and he's not like slumps like this. He's just like this. His physicality. Oh my God, Tobias Menzies, your physicality in this role and in Blackjack just like blows me away.
And he needed to go off on these people. He needed to just get it off his chest.
Right. So that's why I said he rips the cop a new one. Like, you know, in a great, like, calm, frank way. Except when he's like, that. But how about then they flash to the wanted posters or the, like, you know, reward for posters? Frank described Jamie, like, to a T. Because that sketch is awesome. Don't you think?
I didn't realize he really saw him that well.
I didn't think so either. I mean, I didn't even think he saw his face. But I guess he did, because that's like the picture of Sam Heughan right there.
There he is. Oh my
God. So, the whole I mean, it's just so sad. The Frank stuff, I mean, I'll say the exact point later on, but I have not cried in this whole episode, in this whole series. I have not cried. I've not even gotten teary, even last week at the wedding. Nothing. Dry eye. tonight my eyes filled up, and it was because of Frank.
Every time I cried, it was because of Frank.
Yep.
And I'll tell you something. I don't want to jump ahead, but there is a reason. Excuse me. There's a reason why we are so... Obviously, they're showing Frank's point of view. But in the book, I'm the type to kind of delve into stuff like that. And in the books, I was like, I didn't care. I stopped for a minute. Oh, it's too bad. Poor Frank. He's probably worried, sick. Done.
Right. And I was always the one that was like, think of what this is like for Frank. And
right.
There's your like acting, writing thing. Like
right.
I got myself in Frank's head to think about the character of Frank. And like, again, I never hated him because like, think of what this was like for him. It was horrible. Like she's just disappeared. What would you do if your husband just disappeared? And everyone's like, oh, she's not coming back to you. Like, she's fooling around, whatever. Like,
right, you'd be the same because he knows she's not.
Right. So, all right.
But does anything else in the show, does anything make you feel even more bad for Frank? I mean, in the book, I'm just going to go there. In the book, I'm so, at this point, head over heels for the whole Jamie Claire thing that I couldn't care less about Frank.
Well, you never see Frank. I mean,
It was easy not to care about Frank and his whatever. He was like stuffy. But in the show, it's a little bit of both. It's number one, the fact that we're seeing so much Frank, and then we're feeling what Frank's feeling. We're seeing that Frank is a human being with feelings who is just beside himself. We didn't see that.
I knew it all along.
What?
I said, I knew it all along.
But in the show, I'm also not... I'm going ahead. I'm going to go back to this when we get to it.
We'll get to it because I have Frank stuff all over the place here. But yeah, just non-book readers who are not going to be non-book readers come April 4th because you got 7 months to read the book, so get on that. But Frank, we see none of this Frank stuff, so this is all new to us.
It might take some of you that long to read the first one.
Okay, so we transition into Jamie and Claire having their little picnic out on the valley, whatever.
I know, and I can't help but check out on the blanket what they're eating. I'm like, okay, there's some cheese.
I know, right? Now, here's my thing. I gotta say, this was to the point where it was distracting. This was a great scene, by the way, but it was distracting to me because I was like, oh my God. Can you see me? Because you froze a little. Yeah, you're good?
What?
You can see me?
You're fine.
Okay. It is cold as F there. I mean, God love them. God bless Kat and Sam. It looked to me like it was about 35 degrees out there.
If that.
And they're all like this on their hands. And I bet you that they're just like, Claire, is it always like this? And she's like, I don't know, because I'm so cold. It looked so cold.
It's a bit warmer.
What?
Usually it's a little warmer. I just realized something else that was not done or said in the series.
What?
We'll touch for a bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you, we're doing wedding part 2 because I have a lot.
Yeah, but that wasn't even the wedding. That was this. That was
the next day. But no, in the wedding. But wait,
like the dragonfly in amber.
You're skipping around. The wedding thing. If you're going back to that was the next day. In the show, the next day, they were great. They were all good. It was all good. They were like an old married couple. Yeah, and I actually. No, but that's another video. It's another video. We're going to do another video. Okay. So. Can
I throw 2 words out there?
What? Go ahead. What?
Can I throw that we're heading towards?
Yes.
I want to be the one to say it. Hugh Munro.
Oh, all right. Well, wait. So they have their little
Did you freak out?
I did freak out.
This is why I didn't want to talk to you about this on a text or anything. I wanted to get your reaction. I freaked out.
Well, you didn't think he was going to be on there?
No, but when he showed up, I forgot how much I love him.
I know. Hugh Munro is great. All right,
when she kissed him?
You're totally glossing over Claire and Jamie, is it always like this? Whatever. But it was interesting that, like, the shot of their hands, all you could see was Frank's ring.
There's a lot of ring a ding
dingage.
I'm trying to shove ring and imagery into one word.
ring
imagery.
Ring. I don't know. All right. So they do the whole, and that's kind of from the book too. Then Hugh Munro shows up. Hugh Munro is a great character. Like, he's really not in much more than this scene, and you know, maybe shows up again later on,
right,
for a bit. But so he and Jamie are friends from wherever. Hugh does not have a tongue, unfortunately, so he can't talk. But he does like some sign language or whatever. Gives Claire this piece of amber with a dragonfly in it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. In the book, he does not. She receives that gift from him, but not there. And
I said,
you know what? I hate to do this because, I hate to like throw a spoiler in here because I have to make all the little spoilery things, but I'm gonna do my magic like spoiler like, but just for a second because I have to say this. Okay, he sends the dragonfly, or the amber in dragonfly, wrapped up in a package that they open later when they're back at Leok, and the wrapping of the package is what contains the De Bassia Mill poem.
Oh, nice. Because I was just remembering them kind of being in the woods.
So, because what I wrote down was, Hugh gives Claire a wedding gift, dragonfly. Uh-oh, no paper, no poem. Okay, spoiler free, we're back.
How do you like how Jamie keeps kissing Claire like they've been together for like ever? Like cute little kisses that couples do. And it keeps taking me off guard and going like, oh my God. Almost like to where you feel like her, like, oh shit. Like that hilarious thing you sent me to today. What was it on? TV.com or something? What was it?
Oh, it was that. Yeah. It was like a recap all the pictures. It's very funny.
What?
It was very funny.
Very funny. We got to remember what that was so we can plug them.
I know.
I don't remember what my point was just then, but just about him kissing her, and like, you know, every once in a while he'll just kiss her, and she's like, you kind of feel like she's probably like, oh shit.
I do have to say, I wrote down that the director heard us from last week. She watched our video, went in real quick, and edited something in this thing because we saw Hugh Munro make a leg from the front.
Dear God, Tracey, I thought you really meant the director saw our video. I was like, number one, I was like, oh, no way. And number two, I was like, why? Why would they watch us?
No, Hugh Munro went like, did like a big old bow thingy to Claire that you saw him do it. So there you go.
There he is in his rags,
I know, he's awesome.
A leg.
I know. Hugh Munro is a great character.
Oh, he's fantastic.
But all right, so he tells Jamie about this guy named Horrocks.
That took 10 minutes. Married?
Married?
Married.
Married?
Yeah, married.
Married?
Married. Jeez.
No, it's like 2 words.
Okay, let me just throw it in. That was a 16 Candles reference.
Okay. Oh yeah. There's gonna be many more. Okay. So this guy Horrocks is a redcoat deserter who may or may not be able to help Jamie out with his whole, price on my head thing. Because maybe he knows something, maybe he doesn't, whatever. But Jamie's gonna meet with him, so that's cool. That's good.
Right.
Claire totally loves Hugh Munro. You could tell. She's just like she just loved him. She saw something in him, whatever.
She kissed his sweet little homeless ass.
I know. Oh my God. So cute. So we have the coolest effect. There's a million cool effects in this. Bravo to the director of this from the wedding last week, because just so many cool effects. Claire's wedding ring, Frank's wedding ring. So cool. So cool. So we find out that Frank is staying with the Reverend, and they're talking theories.
Oh God, killed me.
What?
Oh,
The Reverend has put together, for those of you who watch Homeland, the Reverend has put together a kick-ass Carrie Matheson, like, pinboard. Like, clearly the Reverend has some bipolar problems because he is just, like, putting them everywhere. Are you there, Carol?
Sorry, I just passed that, so I wanted to get back to it.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of stuff all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's like NCIS or something. It's like one of these shows that have all their whole. Wow, it's like Jodie Foster in Silence of the Lambs.
I didn't think she had one of those boards. I thought Russell Crowe had it in that math movie that I forgot the name of.
I don't know, but I feel so bad because every time Frank they show, oh my god, Roger McKenzie, I freaked out.
Then in comes Mrs. Graham with some tea or whatever, and a little cute as a button little boy who has little biscuits, and it is Roger McKenzie. And non-book readers, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to say anything.
That the tears came again at that point because I had already cried when poor Frank was slumped over in the not slumped over actually. You said he was sitting up straight in the detectives, but then in walks Roger McKenzie.
Now we will explain because I don't think they were clear about this. Roger McKenzie is the Reverend's adopted son.
Right.
I don't remember how exactly. Like, I think maybe they're related. He's, like, really his uncle or his granduncle or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really remember. But he's his adopted son.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. But how cute was he? He was adorable. So they're talking theories, whatever. And what I wrote down here, and I'm not really getting this, what I wrote down was it's sinking in for Frank, like, that she's really gone.
This is it.
And he knows the stones have something to do with it because he's looking, but I don't know why I wrote that. I kind of forgot what was going on there. So anyway, Frank's like, yeah, you know what, Mrs. Graham, I need something stronger than your tea. I'm going to go get schnockered.
Yes.
This was a little silly this whole next segment was a little silly in my opinion.
That she set him up?
He goes off to a bar and he meets quite possibly the most suspicious character there ever was in the history of literature or television.
True. Keep talking.
I don't know where she's going. So yeah, you know, Sally comes and sits down. I mean, she might as well have just gone like, oh, my name is Sally.
I was going to say she might as well have pulled up her skirt a little bit and said, what you drinking, soldier?
So, you know, she's like, yeah, I, like, have some information for you. And she, like, drops the little pamphlet that's like, you know, find this dude, we'll give you 1,000 pounds.
But you have to remember something. Frank, considering his part in the war, considering how experienced he is, considering that he should know better, is so distraught over Claire.
I know.
He will follow any lead, no matter how ridiculous.
It was pretty ridiculous. So, all right. So off he goes with the lady. And then there's a drink transition. All the transitions were so cool from, like, then to now or now to then. So, you know, he's like, give me another. And they, like, start to pour his drink. And then we dissolve into drinks being poured in the wilderness or in the heather or in the rough or wherever they're sleeping.
The thistle.
And thank God for them. They finally get a effing fire to sit by because
I know.
Again, like, I don't know. They must have been filming in the dead of winter because it was like, I was cold just looking at them.
I know. But I have to say this. When I'm sorry, but every once in a while I have to get something in too before you do because you pretty much go through the whole thing.
Well, you take notes and do it yourself.
Well, this time around, I kind of like to watch it while we're talking, though, because it's more fresh. Like, the reactions are more fresh. Mm-hmm. But the horses, I remember that like it was yesterday from the book. when those horses just sort of started like, ugh, Jamie knew, and I almost felt sorry for the audience because it takes a second to catch on, but for the fans, you see those horses go like,
right.
and
you kind of know something's up. Well,
this is a scene that you have to feel.
right.
You feel this. You feel the danger. You feel it coming. But for somebody who hasn't read the books, they're just sitting there like, what?
Oh, I don't know that I agree with that. Well, first of all, I mean, even before that, going back before that, I'm going to watch this again, and I'm just going to listen to Rupert's story. That's all I'm going to do, because I kind of wonder. It's about the water horse. It's got to be significant at some point in the future. I don't really know, but I want to listen to that story just to do that without any of the other stuff.
What's funny is that I will watch this umpteen times after we usually make the video, and then I end up watching it like a couple of times just because it's on or something this week, you know?
Right.
Oh, they're doing a marathon too this week.
Oh, really? Oh, I should watch it.
I want to say it's Saturday at like 1 or something.
So meanwhile, for whatever reason, because they want to be alone, I guess, Jamie and Claire are sitting away from the fire, and Claire is kind of like, okay, Jamie, I'm like really cold. Why can't we sit at the fire with everyone else? Plus, I sort of want to hear Rupert's story.
Could you unzip your sleeping bag? Oh, wait, we don't have those.
So like you said, the horses get spooked, and that whole scene was right out of the book, and it was great. It was great. So great with all the subtle reactions from everyone. And, you know, Claire's like to Jamie, like, what's going on? And he's like, the horses are spooked. And she's like, almost like, well, we should tell it to people. Like, you know.
I know.
And he's all like, chill.
In true Claire fashion,
knows.
She wants to.
Everybody did know. And it was so cool to see, like, how everybody just very subtly, like, pulled out the thing. Did the this. Did the that. All the Highlanders, they know they know the drill. They know what's going on. Jamie sends Claire off.
There's a lot. You're forgetting about all the hand holding that's going on.
Well, again, it's like 32 degrees. They're probably like, director Anna, can we like at least hold hands?
All right, whatever. Seriously, there's a lot of hand holding going on. I find it very sweet.
It is very sweet.
And I find it very intimate, which is interesting because, you know, she was, I hate to use the word forced, but they were forced to marry. And very fast. It's not like they knew 6 months ago. They found out they were going to get married. Bam, they got married. And it's 2 days later, and they're both so, like, touchy-feely.
But it's what he says. It's like, is this normal?
Did you notice that the 3 conditions on the show, again, this is wedding video, but were not the exact same as the 3 conditions in the book?
Yes. We'll talk about that in our...
But that's kind of where I'm going, is that I'm not used to them being so touchy-feely around everybody else because they're not, in the very, very beginning, because they spent like 4 days
all right.
by themselves when they ran into Hugh Munro and some scenes they haven't done in the show.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not used to the very next thing after the wedding episode is like the 2 of them, you know, out in the brush, in the thistle with everybody, being all intimate with each other. It's kind of cute.
I mean, I'm assuming that, like, he says when they meet Hugh Munro that they've been married for 2 days, so they've had 2 days already. And then it's not clear that, like, when in the rough is happening. Like, it could be 2 days later, a week later. I don't know. You know, that didn't bother me too much. You know. And it did feel like very much like the book where it really is like, you know, is this normal? Is it always like this with everyone? And she's like, yeah, you know, no, it's not.
You're smoking.
It's not. Only when they're as hot as you are.
Only with smoking hotties like you.
So anyway, they have the battle, which is a little hard to see because it's dark. And I will interject that I'm at the point right about now in this show, in the episode where I'm like, I wish that it was a little more light here because I'm really having a hankering for some kick-ass Jamie.
And not only that, but I don't remember it. Wasn't it during the day in the book?
No, it was at night. It was at night.
I did not picture this at night at all. Isn't that funny?
No,
And I love Willie. Willie's my new favorite.
Willie's awesome. But the best part, and I don't think that this is how it goes down. Maybe it is in the book. I honestly don't remember. I have to read it. When Ned does his whole Indiana Jones with a gun routine. When everyone's like, shoo, 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 shoo.
Yeah.
And Ned is just like, oh, jeez.
And then he says, what did he say after that? Like, how'd you like that? Or something.
I know. It was so funny. So it all like gets taken care of. They only lost one horse and a couple bags of grain. Everything's good.
Okay.
I loved Angus. Angus is all like, yeah, as they're all running off, like running away after Ned shot the gun. And Truligard, yeah.
Let me just show you this. This type of stuff is what I'm finding very cute. Can you see this?
Not really.
Like, as soon as it happens, afterward, he goes over to her. There's a way that he has of, like, he'll hug her, and he's like such, all bigness of him is like into
Yes.
her.
Earlier in the Hugh Munro scene, after Hugh leaves, he melds into her. I totally noticed that.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's like, no, I can't act it out. I need somebody else to do it.
I'm showing you.
No, I know. Like, if this is him and this is her and they hug, he goes like this.
And he's like dangling on her.
I totally noticed that too. Yeah. He like sort of drops his head on her shoulder and then like snuggles in, kind of.
Yeah.
No, I totally noticed the same thing. Too funny.
Very sweet. It's very, very sweet. And I think do you think it's done purposely? Do you think that's direction?
No, I think that's just, that's the two of them. I was kind of wondering this, like, overall, when you're on a series like this, as an actor, it's like if you're in a play, you have one director, and that director is sort of is your not authority, but like that's the person you turn to if you can't figure something out or you need help with like I don't know how to play this or whatever. But in a TV series, you have a lot of different directors and you have a lot of different writers. So who do you go to for like character questions? Like, I mean, I guess Sam could like email Diana. But I think that's an interesting question. Like, I don't know. I really don't know how that even works.
I don't know. So then Frank ends up with his
So yeah. Then we're back to Frank.
Sally.
Sally in the alleyway. I'm just like, could this Frank, come on.
Frank's in the
you
alleyway.
You can recognize a good cliche when you see one, right? Come on.
And then she takes off. She's like, see ya. And you're like,
she's like,
you
I'm just gonna hide back here. Like, I'm just gonna hide, like, in the shadows here. While you, like, go knock on the door.
I'm sorry. I think you mean while you, like, go kick some ass.
Oh. So of course Frank gets jumped because we didn't expect that. And Frank goes ballistic. Because, Frank did have that, like, desk job in the army. What this tells me is like Frank and his desk job and his like paper pushing work in the army was a load of crap, basically.
Oh yeah.
And
well, that was
like when you say he was in intelligence in the war, yeah, he was in intelligence the way like Clark Kent was, like sitting at a desk somewhere like all day long. No.
How'd you like Sally going? Was her name Sally? I don't know.
No, it was Sally.
I'm just gonna call her Sally. How'd you like Sally going? You're killing him. And I'm sorry. Did I hurt your criminal boyfriend? Who you lured me here to get killed by and give my money? Are you kidding, lady?
Yeah. Wait, talk some more because now talk now.
So now he's back.
All right, now you're good. All right.
Now he's back with the Reverend. And he's pissed. And I feel bad because Frank's just like so done with the Reverend and Mrs. Graham. He's like,
can we go back to the in the alleyway with Sally and her
in the alley with Sally, right.
What I wrote down, and because I thought it would be a good discussion point, is Frank's reaction to, you know, the men and, like, beating the bejesus out of them valid or not? Discuss.
What do you mean valid?
I mean, he beats the hell out of them. Like,
do you mean, like, am I approving
of you know, he almost kills Sally.
Right.
I'm sorry, Sally.
Right. And are you asking me if I approve of this?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I mean, it was very interesting. It was like it walked the line between like valid and went too far in my mind.
You know what? My girl shows up at the bar with a picture of Jamie and says, I'll take you to him, all to lure him there and steal the money. They all deserve to get their asses beat times 10.
I guess maybe it was just like, was he like too like Blackjack, too scarily like Blackjack for like, I mean, because I'm thinking that that's probably to a certain degree what that was supposed to signify. Or maybe not. No,
because I'll tell you why. Frank didn't enjoy beating the crap out of these people.
Yes, good point.
He did it. He
lost control, though.
He didn't even know he was doing it.
Yes.
He sort of had this awakening.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. You know what I mean? He's so beside himself and heartbroken that all he can think of is Claire 24/7.
Right.
All Claire, all the time.
Right. All right. So, like, good, you know, despite the fact that it was cliche as hell, it was still a good scene because, like, we saw Frank, like, really lose his shiz, and I think that it tells you something about his past.
Right.
That's what I think.
Right.
So, yeah. So he goes back to the Reverends. The Reverend's like, you know, people suck in this world, like, da-da-da-da-da.
And Frank's like, you know what, you suck, I'm done.
That was a really nice, I put lovely talk with the Reverend. I thought it was really great.
I love the Reverend, but you know what? Frank doesn't want to hear any of this right now. Frank needs to just go.
I know. So then we go back into the Claire's time. And all of the men are like, yeah, you know what? You need to learn how to kick some ass, Claire.
And Angus is like, and I just need to pull up my shirt and show you and stuff.
So they find the knife and Jamie's like, here, you know, or whoever found it, Angus, whoever, is like, here, take this knife. And she's like, okay. Yeah, no, I don't think so. And that's when they give her this.
Didn't she say this is too big?
Say what?
Didn't she say this is, yeah, because Rupert, I think, made a comment.
Oh, Rupert was so funny. That was a good one. That was a very good one. So
I like how the entire lesson,
the lesson was great.
Jamie's like in the background going like,
yeah, good, Angus. Yeah, now, that was all right out of the book. It was great. Like, totally, I'm really glad they kept that scene. That's one of those little like slice of life scenes that it was a lot of fun to see.
Better than a slice of Angus or Rupert. Or Willie.
And again, you see her just kind of like being comfortable with the guys and being one of the guys, which is really kind of fun.
Okay, we need to keep going because I have such a burning question about like.
Okay, all right, we've hit the part where oh no, this isn't quite it, but all right, so then we're back at Reverend Wakefield.
And Frank can't
pulls
look
out his suitcase.
Yes.
And here's what I wrote down. Frank with suitcase, so sad, 3 exclamation points. How can anyone ever hate Frank again? Love every one of these Frank scenes. So great to see his side of what happened. So like what I thought. Discuss.
I don't think anybody at this, oh God, and then they segue to Jamie and Claire.
Wait. Let's talk about Frank for like 30 seconds because we'll talk a lot about that.
I'm going to hate Frank at this point.
I know. This is why I'm loving these scenes.
All right. Let me answer your question.
Yes.
First of all, I have to throw out there that I never hated Frank. I always said Frank would have been a good husband to someone else other than Claire. Mm. Frank was a decent guy. He was just a little stuffy. And, you know, I'm a history dork, so I get it. They're totally going at it. It's hard for me to pay attention. But definitely I never hated Frank. I don't think there are a lot of people who would say they hated Frank. But you are totally right that after seeing this, Frank has everybody's sympathy. He has to. And Tom, here's another interesting male point of view. Tom is like, when I was reading these books, I told you I felt bad for Frank.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I always said, what about Frank when she stayed? You know what I mean? She stays in the 18th century. And Tom's like, and I was like, well, what do you think he's going through? And
Right.
again,
I said the same thing.
I was too captivated by Jamie Fraser to care what Frank was going through.
I said the same thing. I did. But no, I don't. I think that Frank, you know how I said last week that Murtaugh, like, stock went up by 1,000 last week? In the whole wedding episode, Murtaugh was like a big winner.
Oh, yeah.
Frank is a big winner in this episode.
Oh, beyond.
I mean, everybody's just going to be like, I'm sorry, Frank. I'm sorry, I hated you. Yeah,
Okay.
totally. All right.
Let's just tell you what I'm picturing is the conversation between Tobias Menzies and his agent when this came along. Tobias, I just found out that there's this part that I think you should go for. It's this guy who plays two roles, 18th century, 20th century, and here's Tobias. Another period piece? Really? Only got to picture all this in that sexy Tobias Menzies voice.
Oh,
Another period piece. I can't even do it.
All right, we got to move on because we are at 49 minutes.
So wait. And then he says, but you get to do both roles. You get to do this. And I'm thinking you're probably going to come away with this with an Emmy.
He's so
Because,
good.
Let me tell you, Tobias Menzies, I may have even said this in a previous video. Tobias Menzies is the Peter Dinklage
Of the show. Oh my God. He is the dink. He is the total dink of the show. He is the Outlander dink.
Tobias is the new Dink.
Dude, if you have one episode to submit for an Emmy, is it this one or is it Garrison Commander? And you're Tobias Menzies. Go.
Mother of God, I don't know.
I think it's this one.
Can you split submit?
You might be able to submit like 2 or 3 episodes, but I honestly don't know. I think it's this one.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
Would he be nominated as Tobias Menzies for his role as both Black Jack Randall and Frank Randall?
Yes.
Or would he have to be nominated for one or the other?
I think he would be nominated for both.
Okay. There are both in there.
Say what?
Blackjack's at the end, so.
Yeah. Now, I almost would submit this one.
Are you saying you would or you wouldn't?
I would. Because you got the 2 roles.
Because you're getting
Blackjack is almost as creepy and bad and like, you know, like awful in this one.
Can I tell you that I'm jumping ahead for a second. That smile, I almost think he's worse. We'll get to that. Okay, Mrs. Graham. I felt like, wait, is that her name? What's her name?
I don't know, but I have a feeling that you're skipping over like a huge chunk of importance by talking about Mrs. Graham.
No, what's the housekeeper's name?
Mrs. Graham.
Okay. I always get her mixed up with the woman who owned the B&B.
Mrs. Baird.
Mrs. Baird. Okay. All right, wait, you want me to go back a little bit and see? And just to make sure, you said Frank was in his room. Oh.
Who is looking at her notes and who is not? That's what I have to say.
Okay, how many times in this video are you going to mention that you took notes? Just curious.
At least 3 more.
I remember doing a video early on where I took notes, and I don't remember mentioning any of that.
Carol, you are like, when doing a video with you is like,
fun?
Doing a video with the dog from Up. Because here's Carol doing a video. And then Frank said, squirrel!
ADDers, you know. I'm proud of it. It makes for a really fun time.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let's go. So Jamie and Claire.
Okay, so Jamie and Claire. We cut to Jamie and Claire, and oh my god, to quote Janice again. This was just everything. Okay, for the non-book readers, there were a bunch of lines in this little sequence from a lot of different Jamie and Claire encounters, sort of strung together in one. But I loved it. I loved this encounter so much, I can't even tell you. Because this is how I think of Jamie and Claire. As they are, doing the deed, they're laughing, they're enjoying themselves, I called it meadow sex, actually, which is very Twilight, I know. But they're just, I loved it. I loved it.
Did you just compare this to
I don't think they ever actually had meadow sex. They just sat in the meadow and
No, they just
looked
sat
at
in the
each
meadow. Yeah,
I mean, do you agree? Like it was so great. It was so great.
Sacrament.
The sacrament. Yeah, that line is from.
I like how she cracks up at him.
I know. Well, she does in the book too, and I mean that's the thing. That's how I always think of them. Just really enjoying each other, not just the two pump chump stuff, or taking their time about it a little more. It was a little more, believable. Whatever. I mean, it was still pretty Magic Sporin action on his part. I really do think he has the power to just look at women and produce a monkey owl.
And their panties spontaneously combust. Pretty much. Holy cow, man.
I know. But it was a little better. There was a little more foreplay involved. But anyway, I mean, this whole sequence. What?
Okay, now you're back.
Oh, sorry. This whole sequence, bravo from start to finish. Did you know that this? Did you know that this is what it was going to be? That it was going to be that part where they get.
Oh yeah.
I kind of figured it too.
Because she had just had the knife lesson,
right?
And there they are rolling around on the grass.
And for non-book readers, they do that a lot in the grass. So it's hard to tell which one it is.
And the camera is so close, so on them, that immediately I'm almost subconsciously, not really thinking, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking, because if I was watching anything, this is what I would be thinking. What's going on behind them? What's going on behind them? What's probably because I'm so damn conservative in that way that I'd be like, whoa, is there anyone around? They're out in the middle of the highlands, just wee. So that's what you're thinking is anyone around? And then it hits me. Oh, I know what's coming now. And then bam.
Mm-hmm. The whole sequence. I mean, there's not even that much to say. I think every book reader should be completely happy with that scene because it had every bit of what was in the book. It had the fright, the oh my god, how they're gonna get out of this.
Right. How'd you like the tree?
Jamie feeling oh my god, I can't do anything. There's a little, I think in the book, she sort of knows what she's gonna try to do, and she tries to signal Jamie to not freak out and not get himself killed because she's got this one under control. It's all good. It's all good, yeah.
But wait, what? How far did it go? In this,
it did. Well, I mean, I don't think it went. I don't think it went that far.
I felt like in the book it did not.
It did
but
not. I don't think
in the show I felt like there was.
No, there was not. No. I mean, she was in shock, but she was in shock in the book too. I remember that.
It went on long. Of just
this video.
I think we're hitting a record time. It went on for quite a while for there to be no. I don't know. If I hadn't read the books, I'd walk away from this thinking there was penetration.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, maybe we'll find out later there was.
Right.
I know in the book there wasn't. So the whole sequence, I mean, it was great. It was really frightening. I love the way it was shot with that sort of like choppy camera work. Yeah, it was really, really great. And kudos to Katrina, because I was like, this is her Emmy reel, I think, as well. This episode, she was just really great, really like in shock, as she said. I'm in shock. I'm in shock. I'm in shock, and I'm really cold too. Okay. So we're back to the Reverend Wakefield's house, which is a spectacular house, by the way, because they show a really nice like exterior shot, and I'm like, damn, the house is nice,
gorgeous.
So Mrs. Graham spills. Mrs. Graham spills her guts. She's like, not fair. He has to know the truth. And how about Frank? Let's sit there like this. And she's like, and the songs say that they go through the slip in time at the right people on the right time, right day, and Frank's like, And, he's very polite, but then he's like, whatever. But then it was very cool that she's like, the travelers often return. And, Frank wasn't having any of it.
I don't know, though. I didn't think he wasn't having any of it. I think I was quite almost marveling at how seriously he took her. He listened to everything she had to say. And I kept putting myself in her place saying, this woman's got to be like, oh my God, he's going to think I am a nut job. He's never going to believe this. You know what I mean? So I really felt like he was very,
he was very patient with her.
He finally said like, no, in a very nice way said, that's not my beliefs. But he was very receptive, and he did pay attention and listen to what she had to say.
So he leaves.
And Little Roger,
he and Little Roger have this little look that was like, that's all we'll say on that. So then we get our first voiceover halfway through the episode, or more than halfway, I hope, because we're already at 9 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
So yeah, I don't, it was basically Claire Moore talking about, I don't even remember. She was in shock again.
Whatever.
I don't know. Whatever. So then we go back to the future, and this is where I cried, or I didn't really cry, but I got teary eyed. That Frank, you see Frank in the doorway of the bedroom with a suitcase, and he's left Claire's suitcase on the bed, and he walks out. My eyes teared up.
Why? Okay, why did he leave her suitcase?
Because that's like metaphorically, he's leaving. He's letting go. He's letting go.
Or is there a little part of him that's like remembering that Mrs. Graham said they come back?
Oh, they come back. Oh, nice one. Very nice. You could read it either way.
Tracy complimented me.
Very good. Very good. So then we go back in time, and Claire's really pissy. And they're riding around, and they're going to... Oh, that's right. They're going to have the meetup. And Claire's like, yeah, you're staying here with Willie because it's going to be dangerous. And she's like, I can look after myself, I've done it before.
Wasn't she alone in the book?
Yes. I think... Did he tie her to a tree? Or am I making that up?
Yeah, I think you're right. And she didn't see Craig Nadoon in the distance, did she? She just kind of knew it was that way?
She recognized where she was. But how about her being like, yeah, I can take care of myself. I've done it before. Like, ouch.
I know.
Like,
I know.
And I think that she says that in the book too.
That hurt.
Yeah, that totally hurt. So they leave. Willie goes to take care of business. She's walking around, and then suddenly it's like, it's Craig Nadoon. And so I really like that voiceover of like, I was Claire Randall, Claire Beecham, Claire Fraser. I need to decide who I want to be.
Right.
And she starts running.
Tracey.
And meanwhile, Frank.
Tracey.
What?
I was sobbing. When it was all over, I turned to Tom and I said, that was one of the best things I have ever seen.
That whole sequence?
Ever. It was magical. The way he pulls up in that car and goes back
Yep.
and follows the sign, even though like I said, when he was with Sally in the alley, he knows it's crazy, but he'll follow any lead. He'll go to the ends of the earth to get her back. And then her running toward those stones and him yelling Claire and her hearing it.
Okay,
Mother
people,
of
non-book readers.
I was a mess.
Non-book readers, that does not happen in the book, so it is new to us. I gotta say, I thought it was pretty cool.
It was beautiful.
I will also say that it screws around a little bit with like the whole Diana Gabaldon theory of time travel, because that is something that's never happened in the books. So it's kind of makes me wonder, like, you know, are we going to also, don't forget, because they talk about the fact that it's going to be Yule time soon, so it's probably like late November, early December. It's not, oh, maybe it is sort of a time when the stones are open, actually, now that I think about it. It would be, isn't it just like October and April? I don't know. Maybe it is. I was going to say that. I was going to say
4 times. We have to look into that. Anyway, who cares?
Okay. I care.
And yeah, but the video's long and people don't really, you know, like
Girl, I care.
they don't need us theorizing on when you can time travel.
Okay. But anyway,
So
I liked it a lot. I thought it was very cool. It was a very cool effect. It was like when he goes, when he is standing at the stone, and notice, because I watched this a couple times, he never touches the stone.
Oh,
So there's that wonder in your head of, is it possible for him too? Because he never touches it. But when he like throws back his head and he goes,
say, how many times have we been in chat and I have told everybody that my dream is that Frank is just going to show up one day. All right, I can't. Spoiler, never mind.
you don't know. He does not touch it,
Spoiler.
so you don't know
Spoiler.
what happens.
These are all spoilers.
But anyway, he throws back his head and he yells Claire, and they like do this big overhead pan and all this, and it's one shot and it turns into her time. It's so cool.
And this is the first time we've seen him, I don't want to say out of character, but he just takes off running. The coat is flying in the breeze. The hair, that he doesn't care. It's so, okay, do you remember when you were saying that Frank's, do you remember when you were saying that Frank's in with the detective, and that even then he's like sitting up straight in like Frank mode?
Uh-huh.
Well, in this, he's like heading toward those stones, like really kind of like, you know, he's not all stoic and just walking slowly. He's really like taking off. And then you forgot he cries.
He cries. Ugh. And she's like, Frank, don't leave. You know, wait for me. That whole thing, yeah, it was really great. She goes, she looks like she's touching the stones. Blackout, fade to black. Boom, red coats.
Where do they come from?
Exactly. That was like way suspension of disbelief for that, because it was like she didn't see these like, you know, 17 redcoats following her, whatever. But whatever. It was effective. Whatever. That's how it went down. So she's in the wagon. She's planning her like what she's gonna do. She gets there. Blackjack is creepy. He gives her wine. And she's all like, yeah, you know, you might want to talk to the Duke of Sandringham about all this. And he's like, what? And she's so good. So the part where she's like retying his cravat or whatever that's called.
Oh my God.
That's her Emmy reel right there. Right there. That monologue is like, send that on off. Academy of Television Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, go. Like, FedEx that baby right now.
She had such control of that situation.
So good.
She had such control.
I will say this. Okay, well, 2 things. You know, he took a page right out of like every, you know, like gotcha detective show ever. When he was like, "Oh yeah, so you must know Sandringhams' wife, huh?" I forget if this is in the book. I'm not sure if it is. It might be, but it is very much like right out of the whole, like, you know. So you must know his wife, huh? Maybe.
Yeah, she made the
I don't know how she gets found out. I mean, the Duke of Sandringham thing she really does do, but I forget how she gets found out about it. Maybe that's the way, whatever.
you mean in the book? She really like messed up. She should have said like, "Oh, I don't think I knew. I've never heard of that. I don't know."
I haven't. Well, she did. She's like, "I've never met her."
No, she said she was corresponding with her.
But then no. But first she says, "I've never actually met her," but she was corresponding, and that's yeah. I did say, like, I wrote down Claire's hair is starting to look like Julia Roberts circa Mystic Pizza.
I love her hair in this.
It's totally, her hair is exactly what I imagined. It's like perfect. It's perfect. So, okay. So, the jig is up. Blackjack pulls out his rope from the desk drawer. Who would keep rope in the desk drawer? I don't know. Maybe sometimes you need to tie things. I don't know.
Yeah, how'd you like, don't scream unless, I mean, don't come in no matter what you hear.
I know. She screams. He ties her up. He's, about to use whatever means necessary. Can we please, do you have that queued up?
I do. I'm watching it right now. He's got the knife on her laces. He's unlacing with the knife. Oh, and he pulled her dress off just like Jenny's.
Wait, turn it up.
I can't show it, but
turn it up all the way.
You are going to regret this. Doctor.
ooh, snap. I love how real she is in the show. It's not like the books where you consider her to be like laughing half the time. But there is one thing that's very important. Oh, I guess she doesn't mention it yet.
I'll thank you to take your hands off my wife.
And then you get fist pumps across America. Because the Hellraiser is back. I gotta say, I fist pumped every single time I watched that. It's like at least 2 or 3 times right now.
Okay. There's so much going on here. Seeing Jack Randall's face when he sees Jamie.
It's just like, really?
No, I think he's like, oh my God. He's so excited.
I took it as like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, like this, wouldn't you know?
But now it's a party. Now it is a party.
I want to, once again, I'm going to thank Ron Moore. I always thank Ron Moore, no matter whether it's the director or the writers or whoever. I want to thank them for giving us that little beat when Jamie shows up. And the readers, the fans know it's coming because one of my all-time favorite lines is up, "Thank you to take your hands off my wife." You know it's coming, and you're like, here it comes, and then he says it.
Am I the only one, though, that sometimes will hear that and think George McFly?
Take your damn
hands off her!
Hey, you, get your damn hands off.
Seriously. That I can remember where I was. Are you ready for this? You know how when you're reading and you're like psychotic over the book and you take it everywhere? We went to Jenkinson's aquarium one day. I swear to you, I think it was like February. I think it was cold. And it was like in the winter. We're coming home. We get outside. And what do? I put my seatbelt on. Kids have their seatbelts on. Tom starts driving, and I whip out my book. And it's that scene. So as I'm sitting here coming home from the aquarium, I'm reading a thank you to take your hands off my wife. I remember where I was.
That was just a brilliant cliffhanger, like brilliant ending to the mid-season. Like I don't know how you cannot go like yes.
I know.
And again, badass Jamie is here and now. And
I have to tell you though.
What?
See, this is why I don't like spoilers when I'm reading, because I get very distracted. So while this was going on, I was thinking to myself, did this happen like in his office on the desk and the window was like right there? At least in my head, that's how it happened.
Isn't that how it happened in the TV show?
No, they were like in a dining room of some sort or something, I thought.
No, there was like all sorts of papers and when he went like this, there was like some candlesticks on it. Which I was like, I'm surprised that didn't like burn the room down.
Yeah, no. But I also wasn't expecting it to be dark, you know? And I just, again, you know how you read it? It doesn't matter how it really was. I'm just saying how in my head, it was the middle of the day. It was in his office, which was, I'm picturing true, like an 18th century small room, desk right there, window right there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So while it was going on, I was kind of like, my head was readjusting, and then there he was in the window. So I wasn't so much, because I knew he was coming. You know what I mean?
I still was. That's the thing. I knew he was coming, and I still was like fist pumping. That's all I could do.
How?
And that's it. That's it.
Like the knife on the nip. I thought that was a fantastic touch.
I'm telling you, I think that this is the Emmy reel for both of them. It really is. It really is. So good. So good.
Yeah.
So we are now at 1:15, so we have to wrap this up. Best cliffhanger ever. I hope everybody loved this episode because it was really good. I think that this episode was, it was the last episode, like we have said, which was the wedding, was a great episode, but I think it was like one of those ones that it was never going to please all the book readers.
Oh no.
This one, like if there's a book reader among people that aren't like, this was effing awesome.
Right.
I'd like to meet you because it wasn't me, because I thought it was effing awesome.
Well, post in the comments.
So post in the comments. So Carol, what are we going to be doing until April 4th? Just quickly, to recap here.
I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. I have a ton of
laundry, because I do.
I have a ton. Yeah, that's always. I have a ton of highlights and notes in Moby, both on my iPad and my Kindle, that I am going to have to go through, and I have lots of blogging to do for Moby.
All right, so I'm planning on rereading Outlander again because I love it so much, and this is reminding me how much I love the books. If y'all are watching this and you have not read the book, I would highly recommend it, or at least read till it's very clear in the book where this part is. So just read to that point, and then I dare you to stop.
You have 7 months.
You won't be able to. But we'll be doing more videos. We'll do them more regularly. I think we were a little more sporadic before. And, up to that point, we'll be on Facebook. We'll be on Twitter. We'll be on Instagram. We'll be on the blog. Please comment on all of them. We're on YouTube. Rewatch the videos. Comment some more. What else? Any last thoughts?
I need to watch this episode. This episode, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think it's better than the wedding episode.
I think it's absolutely better than the wedding episode.
I need to watch it about 5 more times and really digest. I'm sorry, but I will never, ever get over watching Frank run to those stones. I will never. I feel awful. It's all down on paper. My thoughts are all on the internet for everyone to see how much I couldn't stand Frank.
Now, I think this is like this.
I didn't care about this man. I could not have cared less that she was gone and that he was having to pick up the pieces by himself. And now I am just, I also want to know what kind of Frank, if any, we're going to get from here on out. The last 8 episodes, are we going to continue to see Frank? Or is it going to be so much more Blackjack Randall? And let me tell you something else. And I know they've said this already. Tobias talked about when we saw him in New York about how, he does the different voices and, just how difficult it is for him to do Blackjack and Frank.
Mm-hmm.
But holy crap, he's so amazing. I don't think of it as this. It's one thing for an actor for you to forget about the actor while you're watching their character. It's another thing for you to forget about the actor when you're watching both of their characters. He's bloody fantastic.
I know. I have, can I do one little spoiler? Because it involves my new theory for how the season is going to end.
Okay, we'll put spoiler alert, and the rest of you guys who haven't read the books or whatever and don't want to know you will know it. We'll see you later. Okay, go.
My new, it's my new thing is that it's not going to be 20 years from now. That it's going to end, where it, like, same thing, Claire and Jamie, like, they've just been in the spring of love, and now they're in the corridor, like, laughing, whatever. Fade to black, lights up. We're in Frank's new house. Ring, ring. Hello. We found your wife. Blackout. That's my new thing. That doesn't happen in the book, but all of the flashback or all of the Frank point of views from this evening, all of a sudden, it's like the light has gone on. Anything is possible. That's how they're going to do it.
You don't think they'll follow the book?
I don't know because in the next book, like there's no, and this is a spoiler for the next book. There's no possibility for Frank in the next book. Now supposedly they're casting Brianna and they're casting Roger, but who's to say that like they are not going to intercut, different things like that? I don't know. But that's my other idea.
That's what I can't figure out, how they're going to keep Frank around even in the last 8 episodes. What are they going to do with Frank?
It is not going to end with Jamie being like, like Claire putting Jamie's hand on her stomach and being like, guess what? Whatever. Like, oh, that's awesome. Like, it can't. That would be a snoozerific ending. I'm sorry.
Do you think they would bring, like, a love interest into it for Frank?
Maybe.
Because didn't he have one while she was gone?
We never really have that confirmed, but we think so.
I
don't even want to get into that. That's all I'm saying. Like, ring, ring. Hello? Is this Frank Randall? Yes. We found your wife.
Is Frank German?
This is Scotland Yard. We found your wife.
Wow, I wish that we had more time because I would love to talk Moby right now.
I know, but we can't because it's 1:22. All right, you guys. It's been a fantastic season 1A. We will see you certainly before season 1B.
Love it, love it.
Love it. So good. Love it.
I love it.
And we'll see you soon.